In this video, we're going to actually render our little animation. Now, our animation is only 1 second long, 24 frames. It's just this cube rolling along on a plane with default lighting and no fancy textures or anything. So this is going to render really fast. But rendering can be a very, very long process. You may have read things about how in some films, especially early films like Toy Story and Last Starfighter, and some of the very early efforts into animation done on supercomputers, where individual frames took hours to render. And as time goes on, the computers have gotten more powerful, but actually the expectations of what's going to be in a scene have increased substantially. So it still can take a very, very long time to render each frames. And a lot of professional companies will have just tons and tons of machines and big networks that all they do is render out the frames for their commercials or movies or whatever they're doing. Now, rendering is not something that's really used for games. You're going to just export your animated models or your static models for use in the games. But in any kind of video thing, and actually in the previews or setup scenes in games, they will use rendered sequences in a lot of cases. So it does have some use in games. But this is going to go very quick, and the system does most of it automatically, so there's not much for us to do. So the first thing we need to do is, from the drop-down menus here at the upper left, choose Rendering, which changes some of these menus. So under the Render menu, if we look about halfway down, we'll see there's this Batch Render setting, which will just render out all the frames that we set to render. We get our student version warning if we had student version. In the lower right here, it says Result Rendering with Maya Software, and that takes a second, and then here we go, and we're just blasting through these frames really fast. Like I said, if this was a complex animation, this could take a long time and those wouldn't move anywhere near that fast. There it is, rendering completed. So it's done, and now we can go look at it if we can find it, and we'll do that in the next video.